Morning Tarot Sphere. It's Holly from Cape Cod Creatures, and I thought it might be fun to revive the breakfast chat. It's been a while since we've done one of these. Got my coffee ready. We'll get some readings going. I've got a ton of decks. I actually moved my deck storage from up here because the shelves were pulling away from the wall to down below here. So that's kind of fun. And I know it looks like a hot mess behind me right now, but my room is like this far away from actually getting organized and being amazing. One thing I do have to do, oh, Beaker says hello. One thing I do have to do is get a fucking lock for this door, because my husband likes to do this thing where he's all, well, I don't know where to put it. Let's just put it in that room. And then I have to like clean up his goddamn mess before I clean up the mess that I've made, and I just can't even. Simon, how are you? I was watching you this morning, your top 5 pips. I'm about halfway through it. I'm going to finish the other half at work when I take my AM coffee break. But oh my God, I'm so glad you popped in. And Deshan, how are you this morning? Oh my goodness. So we're doing some readings this morning and all sorts of good, just basic chit-chatting. Few updates. I have decks I have to review, including the Naked Heart. I haven't really had a chance to use this one yet. I kind of wanted to wait to, I'm not going to unbox it with you guys, but I am going to do a flip through. I figured out a new camera setup so I can. Oh my God. I was just like, Simon's doing pips. That's totally weird. I don't know. I can't even. The furthest I thought you would ever go with a Pip deck might be Pagan Otherworlds. By the way, if you like combining your Rider, do you have that one yet, Simon? Because if you like combining your Rider-Waite with your pips, like that is almost like the perfect marriage for you. It's an awesome deck. Somebody hook Simon up with Pagan Otherworlds because he needs it to live. But anyway, yeah, it's a fantastic deck. It's one of my favorites. Hi, Creative. How are you? And then I have to figure out the, oh my God, Beaker, I can't even. I have to, oh, is it in last year's top 5? I think I remember that. I don't know. I'm kind of experiencing a bit of a YouTube like overload, and like the false memory syndrome, what is it called? The Mandela effect, where you think you remember things, but you're not sure if you remember them, like Captain versus Captain Crunch. I don't know. It's weird. But anyway, oh, what's going on with my hair today? Ugh, I hate it. But anyway, yeah. I guess I'm feeling a little bit manic or something this morning. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Maybe I'll go hair down. So, oh my goodness. So yeah, there's like too many YouTube videos going on to remember them all. It's like, especially the ones that you've watched. And when I tell you guys that I binge watch, like there's some days where at work, I will spend the entire day just vegging out in front of YouTube, and I'm not even sure I'm really absorbing it. Like, it's really just kind of like, but anyway, so yeah, I want to try some readings today. I got the Tarocco degli Animali by Il Meneghello. So that's kind of awesome. It's a tutti cute little deck, and the colors are super nice and bright. And then also, oh my God, hi Molly, how are you? Hi Lack, how are you? It's this adorable little deck, and it features animals. I love my Streminegetzi. He is just super, super duper awesome. I love this one. Love it. But yeah, I thought that might be a cute little deck to use today. Oh, I also picked up, I finally caved and got Light Visions. So we'll be doing a compare and contrast. So I now officially have all three editions of Prisma Visions, and then I've got Light Visions edition number 2. And I've got, oh, it's still up here. Let me grab it. This little gem baby finally arrived. The Tarot Fauna. Oh my goodness. It's a beautiful animal deck. I pre-ordered it in the spring, and it was like one of those, the printer kept pushing back not the people who made the deck, but the printer kept pushing back the date. And it is absolutely gorgeous. It kind of reminds me of the Animal Totem Tarot, but with much better consistency of animals throughout the suits. Like Earth, the Earth suit is all bears. The The shells are all otters. I think the feathers, or might be the swords and feathers are owls, and then I forget what the other one is, but it's awesome. Yeah, I have to try Marseille. I haven't. I'm with you. I actually got a Pip Deck that I think I'm going to enjoy it. So at some point, I want to do a series on learning pips, actually, because that was part of the reason I was watching Simon's pip video, is because I'd like to learn to work more with them. I need to kind of buckle down and learn the numerology. Like, well, not learn it, but memorize it better. So I got a Pip Deck. So I was like, well, let me get a Pip Deck, and if I really like it, I'm going to be forced to use it, right? And it is the like the 1980s tarot. It is like the best thing ever. So it's a whole bunch of movie icons. It's so good. It's so good. Look, it's Teen Wolf. And there are two. Oh my God, look at that. Look at that. It's Ghostbusters and Beetlejuice. So that's awesome. There's all sorts of awesome, awesome movie references in it's Princess Bride for the lovers. But the suits themselves are just pips. So you've got the Ace of Swords is, Polaroid camera. And then you've got I think this is wands. Yep, these are wands. These are mixtapes. And Simon, this is from the UK, by the way. So if you wanted this one, you could totally order this one. Cups is like old-timey compies. They're Commodore 64s. And then let's see, discs are vinyl. Yes, I have the TV shows on pre-order too, Simon. That looks like an awesome little deck. Well, I mean, like, I don't know. I feel like that's one of those where there's going to be some TV shows on there that I don't know about, and then I'm going to feel inadequate in my knowledge of pop culture. But yeah, Simon, if you wanted this deck in particular, it's on Etsy and it's from the UK, so that's an easy one for you to get. I want to say it's called the 1980s Tarot. Let me see if because it doesn't come with a book. It comes with a foldy outy sheet. Yes, the 80s Tarot. It's really cute. So the 80s Tarot deck, and it's on Etsy. I'll put a link below so that way you guys don't have to like kind of wander around. And it comes in a super plain tuck box, but the packaging the girl does is really cute, and the artist does. It's adorable. If you're looking for a fun pip deck that's kind of gonna like, I need fun bait to keep me. I need fun bait to keep me interested in stuff that I have to actually study. So it's kind of like putting salt on vegetables and pretending vegetables are tasty when it's actually the salt. One of those kind of things. So yeah, anyway, if you guys want any readings, you can go ahead and put them in the chat. I forget what direction it's in. But yeah, so, and I can't believe you guys should see my deck collection is starting to get out of hand. I put 4 3-shelf thingies below here, and I don't even think I don't even really have enough room for it. I've got tarot in bags, tarot upstairs. Oh, I got the tattoo tarot by 8 coins. Everyone's a little 80s, Simon. Everyone's a little 80s. If they're not, they're lying. Like, they're just lying to us. They're a little 80s. A 90s tarot would be amazing, because I'm of the generation. I'm an early 80s baby, so I've got fond memories of the 80s, but most of my formative memories were formed in the 90s, like the early 90s. So I think that would be the Budgie Tarot. Yeah, I would. I'm still planning on trying to get it. So I lowered the price of the shop again, like that's how much I want to get out of there. Like at this point, I'll be lucky if I break even with the sale and the business loans that I took out to do the build out for the dog wash. But I'm hoping there's enough money left over we need siding on the house. Talk about like the most grown-up purchase on the face of the planet. Like, what are you getting with that thousands of dollars? Well, we're getting shingles. Not like that, but You know, our house needs siding because we like that it doesn't let water inside of it, and we should probably keep that up. But if there's any money left over after that, I am going to be stocking. I'm going to do, like, I can't ever be an employed person again. Well, I can, but not full time. Like, I like the idea of a steady paycheck, but I feel like I've been employed, you know, I've been self-employed long enough where I'm kind of like, I don't want to be told what to do. I never really liked it to begin with. And I feel like after this journey of having my own business, I'm never ever going to, hi, Chris Ann, how are you? You're off to work today? Oh my goodness. Oh, you're off from work today. Even better. Day off. We were supposed to get a snow day, and I was totally robbed of it the other day. Totally. It was like big fat snowflakes, and it turned right to snow. Oh my God, that's so good. All right. So if anybody needs a reading who just popped on, you go ahead and put your things in the doobly. But yeah, Tarot Fauna. So this is one of my new decks. What was the other? Oh, Naked Heart. Let's touch on that for a second. So, oh, and Mystic Mondays. I have Mystic Mondays upstairs. I'm not going to go get it, mostly because I'm not ready. I'm not ready to deal with it. I'm not ready to deal with Mystic Mondays. But the Naked Heart Tarot, this deck is gorgeous. And as far as a self-funded deck is concerned, like the Jillian, I don't know if you've ever, if you follow Jillian on Instagram or whatnot, she is just like the sweetest thing on two legs. Like, she is just super cute. So anywho, it comes with this ginormous guidebook, like giant, like for a little white book, like it's little because it's little this way, but it's like 200 pages long. I would love to see her write a book for her tarot. Just something to flip through and like write notes in the margins and stuff. I would really love that. But her deck, the deck itself is absolutely beautiful. Oh, thank you. The purple color. Yeah, I was mixed on the purple when I first did it. And then inside my closet is teal, and then you turn the lights on and it's really cool. But anyway, yeah, so, all right, so Mystic Mondays. Mystic Mondays was a Kickstarter. I'm going to do an official video for it, but the long short for Molly. Mystic Mondays was a Kickstarter, and it was in the early spring of 2017. So a bunch of people put their money down for this deck, and it took a while for it to, like, Kickstarter. Usually when they'll be like, oh, well, the deck is coming out in September, you can easily tack on an extra 2 to 3 months. Whenever you do any Kickstarter, really, it's very rare that projects actually make it to you on time. I think I've ever only had one project ship on time, and it was the Arcanist Tarot. But her deck didn't ship on time. She kept pushing the shipping date back, and that's fine, totally expected when you do a Kickstarter. But she, but like all of a sudden, you started, like, she was like, oh, well, I've got this huge art show and I'll be selling decks there. And I've got, you know, my deck is in a whole bunch of other stores and whatnot. And meanwhile, the people who had pledged for decks on her Kickstarter still hadn't received theirs. So she was sending out, so this thing that actually, like, you know, when you kickstart something, like, you've brought a project to life, like, you have contributed to its, you know, coming from the creator's brain and a prototype into being a thing. So usually you, like, as the backer, are the first person to receive the thing. Like, that's part of the reason that you pay so much extra on, like, Kickstarter is not a cheaper way to get a deck. You know, you pay so much extra to help fund the project, and you get to have it first. Like, that's part of the reason you do it, right? So anyway, she was selling her deck through retail outlets. It wound up in a subscription box, and she kept pushing back her backer's shipping date, which just she wasn't even apologetic about it. She was just like, well, I'm going to ship all the decks with the guidebooks. The guidebook's not finished yet because I rushed it. I found typos before it went to print. Yeah, it was really bad. It was bad, bad, bad. So anyway, we finally get the decks. Finally get the decks. Like, she didn't bother to do 2-wave shipping, where I was a person, I didn't pledge for the guidebook. The deck and the guidebook were something like $75. I'm sorry, I'm not that liquid. not. So I pledged, so I just pledged for a deck, and I was like, well, why aren't you shipping just the people who pledged for decks? Like, if the decks are ready, just, send the people who just did decks the decks. And she's just like, no, I'm not going to do that. Everybody's getting it all at once. So I was like, oh, curses, foiled again. But anyway, we finally get them, and I open it up, and my deck is like scratched to hell. It was like the worst. It's scuffed. It's got like, it's dented. It was ridiculous. We're talking about Mystic Mondays a little bit. I'm going to do a flip through so you can see the quality of the deck at some point, but I'm just not really ready to handle it physically. So yeah, the deck, it was ridiculous. Like half of the deck, the front, like the varnish on the cards is bad. So anytime a card slides across another, it leaves scratches in it and scuff marks and stuff. So the backs of the decks were really, really scuffed, and the fronts of the decks were scuffed and scratched. So I contacted her, and so I put some photos on Instagram to be like, oh my God, no, like they're scuffed and scratched. This is horrible. And I contacted her. I was like, my decks are scuffed, they're scratched, they're really bad quality. I'd like a replacement, please. And yeah, I wouldn't. So Simon is totally put off. He's put off. So Simon's put off crowdfunding. Simon, don't be put off on crowdfunding. I've had tons of amazing experiences crowdfunding a deck. Like, it's really, so she didn't refund Molly. She sent me a new deck, which is just as bad. Like, the quality is just as bad. Like, it's slightly less scratched, but it doesn't change the fact that the entire thing of decks that she made, so she sent the decks straight from China without doing any quality control. She didn't have them sent to her to check some decks. She didn't have random decks pulled to check the decks. She just got a prototype and was like, yeah, this is good. Let's ship it to hundreds of people. And they used really crappy varnish. So anytime you use this deck, the varnish is going to scratch and scuff. Like, it's basically, I paid $55 plus shipping for a deck that I can barely use for fear of damaging it. It's like really stupid. But anyway, I'm gonna wind up doing a whole thing. But anyway, on to Jillian's deck. So Jillian is a completely different story. She has just been nothing from, yeah, she's probably not going to send you a replacement, Jen. She's getting really picky about who she does and doesn't send replacements to, I guess. I don't know. It's just been really ridiculous. But anyway, this is Jillian's deck, and I absolutely love it. It's very minimalist while at the same time speaking volumes. This is one of those decks where not all of the images are probably going to resonate with you. Certainly some of them don't resonate with me. And there are some of the drawings in this deck, honestly, like I kind of wish there were more of. I think it's there's a cheetah in here, and he's absolutely adorable. It might be the Ace of Wands. Let me see. Yeah, oh, it's a tiger. The Ace of Wands. I love this card. I wish she had just been like, because I want the whole tiger because he's so good. But anyway, yeah, no, this is it's a great little deck. She's definitely put her heart and soul into it. Like, it's one of those decks where you hear about people that really actually like super care about how their stuff comes out, and she's pulled it off the market for now. I guess she did a ton of quality control with this deck, and unfortunately people are still getting damaged decks. So she's pulled the entire deck off of the market, off of her website, and she's waiting to hear back from a new printer to fix it. So hopefully I wish her well, but my deck is beautiful. It came gilded with gloss black gilded edging. Although I will say it's starting to rub off a little bit on this side just from use, but it's one of those, it's black gloss edging. I can always re-edge it. It's not a big deal. Yeah, so there are people like, I don't find it so much. I'm not going to say that people don't have a business. So Molly just said, for those of you who are jumping on, Molly just said, due to the popularity of indie decks, so many people are jumping onto the bandwagon who have no business making retail decks. So I'm going to say it's not that people have no business making retail. Like I'm not, like, I love indie creators. half of my collection is indie. I love supporting small artists. I am one. I know how hard it is to struggle and create and make something and actually finish a project and bring it to fruition and like have it be something that everybody loves. So I have a soft spot in my heart for indie creators. That being said, I think what we're finding is there are a lot of young kids. This is where I'm going to sound like Quentin Tarantino in the Gran Torino. There are a lot of young kids who have no experience in business and unrealistic expectations of customers, customer service, and what it takes to get a finished product to market, and the amount of money that they're going to be making from something like Kickstarter. So you've got kids with like all these unrealistic expectations and no experience bringing a project from like an indie OOAK, like one of a kind, I just made this and it's fine because I'm just going to use it, to something that you're going to be printing hundreds or thousands of and sending it out to market where people have a higher expectation. And they still expect to make their 50% margin, and they're going to create this deck and they're going to make a bunch of money. And I don't think it makes the feeling behind their deck any less valid, but I think that the way they handle it totally shows whether or not they're cut out for business. Being a creator and being a creator that's cut out for business are two entirely different things. I think that the kids who are creating that aren't necessarily like Grace, the creator of Mystic Mondays, she's got talent. I'm absolutely 100% not going to there's a reason I wanted her deck. It is gorgeous. It's like Lisa Frank meets tarot, meets minimalism, meets it's a great deck. I really, really love it. As far as the images are concerned, I think she would have been better off shopping her project around to mass printers. Like she should have gone to Harper Elixir. She should have gone to Schiffer. She should have gone to US Games to see if anybody wanted to sign her on it before she tried to do it herself, honestly. It would have been picked up. Somebody would have snagged it. But she doesn't. Oh, did I freeze? Oh no, I froze. Sorry, yeah, somebody totally would have snagged her deck. But I don't think she had any business trying to do this on her own. It's just she's got unrealistic expectations of how things are going to go. In business, you always should expect the worst and then expect double worse that. It's just kind of the way it is, unfortunately. And I wish it could be different, but that's not always the case. So anyway, if anybody wants any readings, by the way, go ahead and questions in the doobly. We're here till 10. So, well, at least a little bit before 10. I got to have a few minutes to drive to work, don't I? But yeah, go ahead and do questions. But anyway, we'll do some readings. See if we can pick up on anything. I don't know. But anyway, yeah. Yeah, so Jillian made a beautiful deck. The box is beautiful. I found maybe a small handful of bad reviews about her deck, and it's coming from people that, I love them, but I feel like they're kind of a bit snobbish when it comes to decks. I think they had, as a consumer, they had an unrealistic expectation of what her deck was going to be. They're kind of oh, and I'm sorry, for somebody's first attempt at making a deck, the presentation is fucking amazing. It's got a magnetic box with a ribbon in it. It came with this awesome guidebook. It came with crystals. The backs of the decks are crystal grids. It's a really good deck. So I totally disagree with whoever says that it's a bad deck just because this girl really tried. So Karina wants to know what the universe needs her to know. All right. I don't want to use Naked Heart yet. We'll try using, what are we going to try using? Why don't we use, you know what? I'm going to use Dream Raven. I trimmed this deck and then I haven't touched it since, which is a shame because I really, really do like it. So, one of the few decks that I actually did trim. We'll use Dream Ravens. I trimmed it and I edged it in a metallic purple, which didn't actually come out very metallic. It's very, it's like a matte metallic. It's weird. So yeah. Schiffer is like, they're the ones that are infamous for like the ginormous, even my man hands can't handle the size of the cards. But yeah, no, I just think that there are some creators out there that absolutely 100% need to be creators. Like, I think that their decks are absolutely beautiful and I'm glad that they're created, but they weren't ready for the rigors or expectations of the business world, if that makes any sense. So, all right, let's see. Oh no. All right, you're getting some jumpers. We'll read those. Oh, okay, interesting. And then I want that one for you too. So your first jumper was Death, which isn't a bad card necessarily. This is just a card of change and a card of, you know, like an end is coming for something. It's one of those like, oh, I'm sad that it's stopping, but everything has to end, right? And then you've got the Page of Pentacles and you have the Ace of Wands. So hi Daniel, how are you? Hi Shell, how are you? Oh, and Apu, is that how you pronounce your name? So messages from your guides will handle that question in a second. If I was reading, so anyway, back to Karina, if if I was reading this for somebody right off the top of my head, I would say that there's some sort of job trouble. Just going from the cards that popped out and with the Death card, I mean, there's some sort of job or like there's some sort of, there's Big Trouble in Little China, which is a horrible / amazing movie from the 80s. If nobody's seen it, you have to. It's got, God, who does it have in it? The guy that plays Snake Plissken. But anyway, I digress. Maslow's, so when I read Pentacles, what I normally get from them is like, you know, the base layers of your Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So if you're not familiar with that, that's a great and awesome way of putting the Pentacles and actually all the suits of the tarot into perspective. So the base is like food, water, shelter, and then above that is a roof, you know, food, water, shelter, roof over your head, clothes on your back. Like, it's very basic stuff. And it's also, being the bottom of the pyramid is very grounded. So there's something going on financially, something going on with, you know, your very, very basic needs. So I don't know if it means that you're feeling discontent in your job, you want to change your job. You know, if there's something going on with whatever source of income that you have, there's something there. There's something that's just very, like, you're just not happy about it. And if I were you, I would pull the trigger and change it. I would 100%, like, the thing that's holding you back is a fear of change. Like, normally when I see the Death card, it's a fear of change. It's like, you know, like, you're comfortable where you are, but it's not necessarily the best place for you to be. So if I were you, I would go ahead and maybe just go ahead and just make that change. Just pull the trigger. Like, I know it's really stupid. Like, be smart about it. Like, if you need to change your job, make sure you have another job to go to. Or if you need to move, make sure that, you know, don't just leave and have nowhere to go. Like, you know, definitely get your ducks in a row, but start to make some big changes if that makes sense to you. And then with the Page of Pentacles, the Page of Pentacles is somebody who, like, this, if you're going to read it as a person, I read it more as an energy than that's how I handle quartz now. I don't think that it's necessarily for, you know, for like, oh, there's a person. But the Page of Pentacles is like a new incoming financial situation. Like, it's definitely like, you know, it's a beginning. It's like an entry-level job almost. You got to start somewhere and it's going to lead you somewhere else, but you just kind of have to like pull up your bootstraps and maybe do some stuff that you don't necessarily want to do. But it's also like, it's more than just getting a job for the sake of getting a job. When I see this kind of thing, I normally read it as it's a new career, but you're going to have to work your way up, if that makes any sense. And then combining it with the Ace of Wands, it's going to have something to do with something that you actually really do want to do. If that makes any sense to you. So you're going to, by making this change that you need to change, you're going to open up new doors for you involving a career path that you actually want to be on instead of one that is of necessity. So I hope that reading makes sense to you, but that is what the universe wants you to know right now. And if it doesn't resonate, also let me know. You know, I really love learning what I've done wrong so that way I can fix it and be better. All right, so let's see. I know, Steinman, the Dream Raven Tarot is absolutely beautiful, but you do have to trim it. This is trimmed and it's still ginormous. Like, it's still a really huge deck. And it comes with these horrible green borders. Like, it's really bad. All right, so let's see. Any messages for Apu's guides? All right, so let's see. Messages from the guides. Messages from guides. You know what? For that, I want to use forest creatures. I haven't really had a chance to use this one yet. Yeah, so don't make any ridiculous leaps without first, you know, doing your homework, Karina. Don't like, you know, I'm not telling you to like quit your job today without nothing to go to. But it's time to start putting the wheels in motion for some change. All right. Let's see. So you can't trim? Yes, you can. Yes, Simon, absolutely 100% you can. I used to think that I couldn't trim either until I met Dream Raven Tarot. And then I said, you know what? Absolutely, yes, I can. Like, so you just get like they have like little trimmers at craft stores. It's really, really easy. It's really easy. Oh, she's trimming it for you? Oh, that's cool. See, so you can, so it's not that you don't like or the trim decks, it just kind of, you're afraid of it. So it happens. All right, so Apu, messages from your guides. Let's see if we get any jumpers, and then if not, I'll just pick randomly. That's why I do the hand over hand shuffle, you guys. It's usually where jumpers come from. All right. Let's see. If you said you always mess them up, are you doing it with scissors? Yeah, they have like little cutter sliders. The trick is to always use something sharp. All right, messages from your guides. You got the Queen of Swords, the Eight of Pentacles, and the Tower. Oh, son, what? Okay, so, I mean, right off the bat from this, I don't know why, but I feel like this is not, maybe not career related, but something to do with work. I mean, the Queen of Swords, usually I read as kind of a snarky energy, like very self-assured, very like whatever, but kind of like one of those has no filter, but maybe, you know, like maybe needs to watch what she says a little bit. And something like this would say to me, like, could you just shut your mouth and do your work? Like, this is kind of like, you're gonna get in trouble. Like, it's a very simple reading, but it's just kind of like, hey, like, I know you enjoy being snarky and you think it's funny, but maybe not everyone appreciates it. And maybe you need to focus more on, you know, learning and working and doing that, or you're going to have some trouble. Like, I don't know if that, like, I'm kind of like, it's kind of jokey, but, you know, if we were to delve a little bit deeper into this reading, I don't know, like, so the Queen of Swords is a cat, and they tend to, yeah, a little bit of water in there. You got the eights. Yeah, I mean, that's very much how I'm reading it. I mean, this is kind of like like you need to shift gears or something. Like, I'm just kind of getting like there's something that you should be focusing on, and instead of focusing on it, you're kind of being snarky and sassy, and you're putting it off, and you're doing what you want anyway and whatnot. But it's time for you to really buckle down, or there's going to be some consequences when you don't finish whatever it is that you're doing. But I hope that like, it's sometimes the messages are just short and sweet. You know, you gotta appreciate them for what they are, I guess. So I hope that makes sense to you. And again, if it does or doesn't, you let me know. Because I always do like to improve upon what I can. Where was I putting this? Okay. Oh, the backs, they're super cute. Who was next? Let's see. Can't remember who was next. Does anybody else remember who was next? This is the Tarot of the Magical Forest. Let's see. Some people call it the tarot, like the Magical Forest Creatures Tarot. I don't know why they do that. Because it's Tarot of the Magical Forest. Let's see. Trying to messages from guides. Okay. Chris Ann, you had a question that you'd like you want a reading on? Should you be doing more practice readings before you attempt a festival? And then, all right. Let's see. Molly was next. Who was, okay, Molly, what was your question? I don't remember seeing it. I'm sorry. Like, it's, so I could absolutely just chat back, but Molly, could you just tell me what your question was? And then Chrisanne will do your question, and that'll probably be it for today. If we're honest. No, Tarot of the Magical Forest. Message from the universe. All right. Message from the universe for Miss Molly. Let's see. Let's see. What deck will we use for you, Miss Molly? Good golly, Miss Molly. How about no. You know what? I haven't used this one in a while, and like, it's kind of it's funny slash like it's got like, it's weird. Some of these cards I think are hilarious, and some are just like super serious. It's like this weird mix. So we're gonna use this deck. And did I? Oh no, I bent one of my cards. Oh well. All right. So this is the Disciples Tarot. This is another indie deck, and somebody commented on a review I did of it the other day. So somebody commented on a review that they can't find it anymore. So if anybody knows where we might be able to find this elusive deck, the Forest Tarot with no forest in it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Simon, that is Kelly's description is 100% spot on. How is Kelly, by the way? I haven't watched your video where you two finally meet up, and I feel like that's one of those I need to like snuggle into some blankies and prepare for some fun laugh moments. And I just haven't really had that chance yet. All right. So, Molly, messages from the, oh, that one totally. Oh, and that one. All right. Okay. This is me shuffling. This isn't this. These cards are not for you. This is just me being a dick shuffler at this point. All right. Let's see if we can't go ahead and. Yeah, no, I'm doing fine, Shell. I just honestly, I think what kind of happened was a like a little bit of a tarot overload from 31 days. And then I was trying to do the daily inspiration affirmation readings, and it was a little bit of a burnout. So I decided like maybe I would just, detox a little bit. I actually took a social media detox last week, and it was kind of awesome. So I'm thinking about making that like a thing. All right. Okay, so you got the 5 of Cups. Let me see if I can get this camera to focus. There we go. So you got the 5 of Cups. And you got the Nine of Pentacles. Oh, I'm sorry. This is the Nine of Pentacles. And the Two of Pentacles. How do I determine jumpers from bad shuffling? One or two cards popping out, jumpers. A whole mess of them popping out, that's just me being a bad shuffler. Like, you know, come on, you guys. Like one or two, like spirit guides and like the universe isn't there being like ping, 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 like flicking out like a ginormous handful of cards. It's just not happening. Hey, Leona, how are you? All right. So you're reading, now that I have my sip of coffee fuel, the Five of Cups and the Nine of Pentacles. This kind of combination, I think I would consider like you can't see the forest for the trees. You know, maybe you don't think that you are exactly where you need to be, or you're not on your way to accomplishing something amazing. But, you know, the Nine of Pentacles is very much a self-made woman, where the Five of Cups is like you're mourning the loss of something and you can't appreciate, like, no, you still got stuff. Like, look at like that. Like these three are kind of knocked over, but you got these other cups and they're still half full. Kind of like you can't see the blessings that are kind of in front of your face, if that makes any sense, when in fact you're doing pretty all right. Like, you know, if that, so I think this is kind of like time to reshift and refocus on the stuff in your life that is actually going right, instead of really focusing on the stuff that's going wrong. Because when you do that, all you're going to do is attract more bad shit. So start being like, okay, maybe do a daily affirmation, or start a gratitude journal, or like even if something as simple as, you know, waking up in the morning, taking a deep breath. And I used to like I used to be in a perpetual bad mood until I worked at this place. It was a wholesale produce company. And the boss that I had there, like I'd have to come in at 6 a.m. to help get the orders ready for the trucks to go out, you know, like type them up and like form the routes and stuff. And I'm not a morning person. So when I would get, and I lived half an hour away. So when I got there, I was like not in the mood for anyone or anything. And the guy that owned the entire thing would like, he'd come in, he had been there for hours already. Like he was a super morning person. So he would show up to work at like 4 or 5, and he'd be like whistling while he worked and ridiculous. And I'd be like, oh my God. And he'd be like, what are you sad about? You are on the right side of the grass. You're vertical and you live in America. Like, could you not? Like, you'd like, you're having an amazing day right now. You're not dead. Like, you're not dead. And, you know, you have indoor plumbing and you're fine. So I think that's kind of one of those things where it's time to start moving out of your bad mood. And, or you've been hardcore grieving. I think it's time to start moving out of your grieving phase. I'm sorry, Molly. Like, it sucks that you're grieving, but I think focusing on the good things is one of the things that's going to help you kind of, you know, focus, you know, take the time to stop and smell the pentacle roses, I guess. It'll help you really focus on what's good in life, because if you spend your life grieving what's lost, you can't actually, you know, life is for the living, if that makes any sense. So if you spend your time grieving things that are lost to you, or things that didn't go right, or, you know, whatever bad news it is that caused you to grieve, you're really going to miss out on some good stuff. And then we have the Two of Pentacles. And I think that this is really the card that kind of brings this reading home for me. The Two of Pentacles is almost always about striking a balance, whether or not it's about money or what have you. I think you need to figure out a way, like you absolutely do need to feel your grief and your emotions and all that good stuff, and able to process them. But it's when you become lost in one particular one that you kind of lose your way. So I think for you, the key here to moving forward and realizing that, you know, you've got some good things going on, is to really strike that emotional balance. So work on centering, work on, you know, gratitudes and affirmations. If that stuff works for you, you know, for my mom does her meditation listening to the Grateful Dead, and if she's having a, you know, she's just like, well, worst case scenario, there's always garlic bread. Like, you know, it's one of the, you know, just find what works for you. You know, those are the other things are just like a few examples, you know, in the morning when I have to wake up in the morning and be in a bad mood. My 3 things to like, be like, okay, like I'm in a shit mood. Here's how I'm going to get over it. I've got dogs I can pet, I've got birds I can snuggle, and I've got coffee I can drink. Like, you know, even if it's as stupid as like those 3 little things, like to get you up and out of your bed and into your day and have it just be a little bit, but even if your day that you're having now is just a little bit better than the day you had yesterday, you're on the right track. So I hope it helps, and check in. You know, let me know how that, you know, goes for you, how you're doing. You know, I hope you have a better day than the day before. And that's really all when you're grieving. That's really all you can wish for somebody who's grieving. Okay, so now the only metal I listen to, can I confess right now, the only metal I listen to would be Death Clock and Austrian Death Machine. I love me some hilarious metal. Okay, so now is no. Whose turn is it now? Chris Ann, it's your turn now. Okay, yes, sorry. So Chris Ann wants to know if she should do 67 emails. Oh my goodness. All right, so Chris Ann's turn, and then I have to go to work. Oh my God, do I have to go to work? I made a ginormous. I don't want to. All right. So Chris Ann wants to know if she should do more practice readings before going professional at a fair. Are you doing a psychic fair? All right. Let's see. What's a good career deck for that? I think I want to do. Ow, I'm stuck. I was stuck in my chair. All right. My foot was wrapped around the foot bar. That was really no good. All right. Let's see. I think we'll do this one. But, you know what? Chicken butt. You know why? Chicken thigh. Where did it go? There it is. We'll pull the Sacred Creators. All right. We're going to pull the Sacred Creators for you too. Let's see. I haven't used my Cosmos, and like what I feel is like it feels like forever since I've used it. I love this deck. I love it. But it's not really tarot. It's not really tarot. It's actually an oracle parading as a tarot. All right. And Chris Ann, I feel like we kind of have to pull a Sacred Creators for you because you share the same name as the creator of the Sacred Creators, and you're asking, and it's specifically for, that deck is specifically, it's not specifically for, but it's geared towards soulpreneurs, which is a word that I hate. But anyway. Oh my goodness, did you finally delve in, Shell, with the Sacred Creators? How do you like it so far? Was my total 180 on that deck warranted, or like, do you hate it? Do you love it? you like, so you like the Sacred Creators? That's good. It's one of those decks where like the language of the cards makes you want to punch kittens, but it actually, yeah, me too. I'm probably only about 5 cards actually into the exercises. But all right, let's see. Do that one. Reading. More practice before reading professionally. Ooh, that one. All right. Ooh, you didn't pull any biggies. Okay, so you pulled the 8 of Air, which is for sly predator and deceptive motives. So the thing that you guys need to know about this deck is that they shoehorned an oracle into a tarot meeting, so the cards are not going to be traditional to Rider-Waite. So for the 8 of air, supposed to be the 8 of swords, which would traditionally be like that woman like kind of trapped in a bunch of swords, but there's like, you know, it's a self-made kind of a thing, like a self-made situation that's not so good. This one, however, is a sly predator and deceptive motives, which would be more like to the 7 of swords if we're going to go traditional. But then you also got the 10 of swords, which is flaunting prowess and gain by unsavory means. And then you got the page of swords. So you got all swords here. That's really interesting. So you got Pisces and Volanus, which is aid, protection, or retreat and cowardice. Okay. I don't know why you would pull like all these horrible cards for this reading. This deck makes you sound like a supervillain. Maybe it's reflecting how you would be feeling if you did read at a card. Do you not feel like you are at the point where you can read professionally? Because sometimes what tarot does is it will reflect how you feel as opposed to being all like, oh, here's your advice. So I don't know, do you feel like maybe you would just kind of be taking people's, oh, bye, Simon, are you running? Oh my goodness. No, don't go. We love when you hang out. So anyway, yeah, do you feel like you would maybe be like pulling a fast one if you read? I don't know if you, like, okay, so I'm not wording it correctly. Do you feel like you have enough experience to read professionally? And if you were to go read at this fair and take people's money, are you secure with your experience and your being able to do that, maybe for the price that you're charging or for the setting or for the what have you? So, I mean, like maybe this is one of those, like you need to get over that kind of a thing. If you like, you're not, so reading tarot, and I often struggle with this. I actually, because I come from such an atheistic background, like, I don't, my parents and stuff are, but like, I was such a staunch atheist, and I'm very much like I need evidence and yada, yada, yada. So I almost feel like I'm getting away with things when I read tarot. Like you're probably struggling with exactly the same thing that I go through. It's just like, well, I mean, like you're doubting yourself. You're 100% doubting yourself. And you're kind of like, well, I mean, like, am I actually picking up on things? Like, am I cheating people out of their money? Is this just a parlor trick? Like, what is going on? And like, do I even know enough to charge money for this? Like, I'm like, you're never going to feel, the thing about tarot is you're never going to feel like, one, it's not a parlor trick. It absolutely is not. I mean, you can turn it into a parlor trick and you can cold read, but between synchronicity, between subconscious, and between like the different uses for the cards, like with the Jungian archetypes and helping it to like having it help you think out of the box. I mean, there absolutely is something to tarot. And just because we don't know what it is, it doesn't mean that it isn't 100% valid. That being said, reading cards for 3 years, that's a lot of experience. So I think that you need to get over your self-doubt and you're not a carny, like you're not taking people's money. You're not like Madam whatever in like a sketchy New York basement shop, like, pulling people's IDs from their wallets that you pickpocketed. Like you're reading the cards as they're laid out before you, and they're either going to mean something or they're not. So when you are going to take people's money for this service that you're providing, one, it's largely tarot is entertainment. Whether, like, I hate to say it, but most people aren't getting tarot readings because they're like in that kind of a setting because they're super serious about the stuff they want to know. They're there to have a good time and like maybe get some hits, and they know full well that something might not resonate for their money, but it's a fun experience. It's a good, like at the very least, it's a fun experience. It's a good story. And I know this because this is the kind of tarot sitter that I used to be. And every once in a while something would resonate and I'd be like, oh, maybe there's something to it. But either way, I have fairly paid the person who read for me for their time. I felt comfortable letting go of that money. So your sitters, unless you get like the on the off chance you get that one crazy who's super ridiculous, and in which case you stand up for yourself. They're not going to be like, oh my God, you suck so hard. Give me my money back. This is a complete waste of time. You fraud. That's 100% not going to happen to you. Secondly, just because like it's intuitive hits, like you're fine. It's just, it is what, like, you're not like, I don't know how I can drill it home to you further that reading tarot in that kind of setting, like it's fine. 100%. I think you should do it. I think when you do it, maybe put up some, I don't know if you're the type to ground and clear and shield. And, but I think at the very least you need some mental barriers. Maybe you need to bring a friend with you, especially where you get this aid and protection / retreat and cowardice card. I think going into this battle alone to this fair, like that's probably not the right approach. It sounds to me like anyway, you would need some moral support. So bring a friend with you, you know, or at least make friends at the fair. And if you are going to make friends at the fair, actually, like if you're going to make friends with other readers, if I was just reading this and you were like, hey, I'm thinking about like going out to make friends or speed dating or what have you, I would kind of maybe pick up on this, like maybe somebody's not as genuine as they seem is the other way that you could take the reading for these cards. So it's maybe not necessarily you, but, you know, if you're gonna, like, don't 100% put your trust in the other readers, because not all of them are scrupulous. Like the fact that you're even doubting whether or not you should be reading professionally tells me that you should 100% read professionally. Especially with 3 years of study under your belt, I think absolutely 100% go for it. The fact that you're like, you have enough of a conscience to be like, I don't know, should I don't feel like I know enough yet. Yes, absolutely 100%. That doesn't mean that everybody that does fortune telling is a wonderful person with great and moral scruples. So if you are going to make friends or form partnerships or whatever, at this place, I would also, like, if you pick up clients, carefully guard your client information. You know, be kind of choosy about the friends that you make. Oh, Deshan, are you leaving? Oh, boo. I hope your meeting is good. Yeah, I mean, I think you'll do just fine. I think you just need to, like, one, get over your, like, oh my God, I'm not good enough and this isn't real kind of a thing that you've got going on. And just be a little discerning with any friends that you may or may not make at that psychic fair. If that makes you feel, if that resonates with you. So yeah, just put up your protection, ask your guides for help. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. You'll be 100% fine. I absolutely 100% think you should read. So that is that. And then we'll do one Sacred Creators card. And then, oh my, it's 10:06. All right, I got to get going. So we'll do one Sacred Creators card and then I got to leave. I have to go to my place of business and be sad for the rest of the day. No, that's not true. I won't be sad for the rest of the Oh, one of my resin bottles is off gassing. Okay. I was like, what is that smell? Why does my deck smell like plastic? Yeah, sometimes when the sun comes in through this window just right, one of my bottles of clear resins, like, it just has that fumey smell. And I like that smell, but sometimes it worries me if I can't explain where it's coming from. And it just happened to, like, waft over as I opened this deck and I was just like, what? No. All right. So your Sacred Creators card for the day. Let's see. I'll pull one right from the middle. Feed your artist. I like this card. So the reason I like this card is because it brings to mind the starving artist. You know, like you can take it as kind of like, oh, feed your artist and like totally go and do paintings and just revel in the paintings or whatever art it is that you do, just revel in it. But at the same time, feed your artist also means artist needs to eat. Like it is 100% okay. It is 100% okay are you listening to me, Chris Ann? For you to go and charge for your readings because you have to eat. You have to literally feed yourself. So I'm going to go ahead and take this as a, yeah, want to like go do your readings. It'll be fine. It'll be fun for you. It'll be awesome to kind of get over that fear, and you'll make some bucks. What's not to, and it literally has buck horns on it. You'll make some bucks. Like, just go and feed your artist, man. Yeah, so sometimes these cards are awesome, and then sometimes you have things like knowing your inner knowing, and you're just kind of like, but that's a good one. So feed your artist. All right. And then creative, you want one Sacred Creators card. All right, creative, seriously, it's the last one. This is the last one, you guys. I'm going to pull one Sacred Creators card for Creative Coffee, and then I really do have to go. Hi, Layer Cake, how are you? Yes, 100% have fun at your fair. All right. I think we're shuffled good enough now. All right, let's go ahead and pull creatives, and then I'm leaving. You guys can't make me stay. Can't. Because I was born a rambling man. All right. Raw intention. So this is card number 22. This card is just beyond what would be considered the major arcana card for the major arcana cards for this deck. People who have this deck that don't know, the first 0 through 21 in that deck actually mirror the major arcana for tarot, which is really awesome. Because you can use it as an oracle and you can still read it as archetype. But raw intention. All right. So for you, Creative Coffee, time to start setting raw intention. Like, really kind of think about when you, like, what you put out to the universe. Like, is it genuine? Is it, you know, has it been watered? Like, have you watered it down in any way? Is it, you know, is it muddled? Is the message that you're putting out muddled? Is it, you know, are you really like 100% convicted to it? Is it the strongest intention you could put out there? I think is maybe time to start thinking about that. So if I were you, I would, not that, I mean, honestly, we all kind of need a little reminder as to exactly what intentions are and how to put them out to the universe, but maybe time for like a refresher crash course. Does that make any sense? You know, go ahead and maybe do a little bit of reading, maybe time to start refining your intentions, maybe time to start putting a little more power behind them, maybe time to be a little more genuine in them, if that makes any sense. You know, because everybody puts out like top 3 intentions. I should be your boyfriend, and I want more money. And, you know, like, it's usually for, like, intentions are usually, you know, like physical stuff. And like, it kind of really, the more and more I kind of see it floating around the community, this is going to sound really horrible, but I find that intentions and whatever that people are kind of putting out there are either really amazing, like amazing stuff that people should definitely be putting energy towards, or it's a ginormous waste of time and really kind of shallow. And we're all guilty of it. I mean, I wrote down 3 intentions for the day in my notebook this morning, and this is actually a really good message for everybody. And I think this is the message that we're going to end on for the entire group. Like, if I look at the intentions in my in my notebook that I wrote down last night for today, one of them is good sales, nice customer. Like, it was good sales, nice customers, and oh God, what was the other one? And accomplish 3 tasks at work today. So, and well, the last one isn't really an intention so much as it is a goal, but all of that is very earthbound. Like, those 3 things are very like, well, yeah, I want good sales and like good customers. But like, if I look back at all the intentions that I've written down for like the past 2-3 weeks, it's all been like career and money based. It's none of it is big picture stuff. None of it is life changing or like whatever. So maybe it's time for us to kind of reform our intentions. Like, I want safety for my friends and family, you know, safety and protection for them. I want good health, and I want to raise the vibration of the planet. Like, it could be like super awesome, really good stuff that really covers a ton of stuff, but is a little less, you know, it's here, like it's a little less here, like, and a little more out there, if that makes any sense. Wording of intentions is very important too. I agree. And I think it's really important. Like, so there are two schools of thought with intention. It's either very broad or very, very specific. So I don't know, but I think it's time that we all kind of maybe took, hi, Susan, how are you? I think maybe it's time that we all maybe took a little look at the way that we're setting intentions, at the nature of the intentions that we're setting, and maybe start to think beyond like this universe and a little more big picture stuff. Like, I want to be happy. like I want my friends and family to have success. Like, maybe it's time to stop wishing for stuff for ourselves. So anyway, that is the note we're going to end it on, because now the cat is like seriously scratching at the door and I should feed him before I leave. All right, you guys, have a wonderful evening. I'm actually going to do a video on sigils, Molly, at some point. So check for that. But anyway, I'm going to get going. Bye.